Bill?
Craig! Just jamming out, man. I love this tune. You remember the song, right?
That's The Odd Couple.
The Odd Couple. Love
Yes.
it. Dude, I never saw the actual movie. It came out with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. I only remember the show from the 70s. Did you ever see the original movie?
If I did, I do not remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You and I are not the odd couple, Craig, but you brought up a good point last week. I mean, I don't think we're the odd couple, but you brought up a great point last week. Speaking of the odd couple, and we wanted to cue in this great music is
Yep.
The two presidents. They seem to be the odd couple, I guess, right?
Trump and Powell,
Yeah.
President of the United States and President of the Federal Reserve, two of the most powerful people around, and they don't love each other, I don't think.
No, they don't. But they've been in the news, especially a lot this week because the Fed meeting yesterday, and the White House keeps talking about they want to do more for mortgage rates. I mean, not just interest rates for credit cards and auto loans like that, but they keep talking about they want lower mortgage rates, which we all want lower mortgage rates, right?
We all want it, and you got Trump on one side, pushing Powell to lower the short-term rates, and Powell's thinking, hey, it's best to leave them alone for a while, and the battle of wills continues for now. So
yeah.
But speaking of the federal, the open market, Federal Open Market Committee meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
Powell usually comes out, he gives a statement. Obviously, they didn't lower rates. And then what he says afterwards is usually pretty important in terms of what's going to happen.
I didn't see it. I wanted to catch you yesterday. It's going 2 o'clock, and
you're in luck because I got a little clip from the press conference that I wanted to play for you and get your reaction. So
great.
Let me share
out.
This with you, and I'll play this.
Yeah. I know we're listen. Our worldwide podcast is growing by leaps and bounds, and we got to learning our new technology and so forth. But yeah, if you could cue that up, that'd be great. Oh wait,
here we go. Here's the clip.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
That probably was Powell yesterday. I didn't see or hear about it especially on Twitter or anything. But I bet that was him.
That's in a nutshell. He's that's his stance. He's not budging.
Yeah,
and he's not leaving.
So, yeah. And two of his compadres there, the Fed governors, they want him out too.
I think one of them's trying to buck for the job after Powell. So,
well, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, so we'll see what happens.
So he's got another guy to help support him. So we'll see what happens. Interesting stuff, and they always talk about the Fed's meeting every 6 weeks, blah blah blah. What does that do for interest rates? And rates, the weekly survey came out, Freddie Mac weekly survey came out, and pretty much holding about the same, and right about 6.8, right in that range. And as we're getting every week here, we talk about 3 things. Mortgage rates is a big one. This is the South Florida Mortgage Report, by the way. We're officially calling ourselves a name, South Florida Mortgage Report. I'm your hat dude wearing mortgage guy. We got the president of Capital Partners Mortgage, Craig Garcia, El Presidente, Craig Garcia here, actually. So, all good stuff. But Craig, I'm the sales guy. I like talking about rates and stuff. And you're the data guy. You're the analyst, and you were telling me earlier you've got some data here in regards to mortgage rates that might be interesting for our referral partners here.
So I'm gonna try to do 2 screen shares in the same pod here, and hopefully I don't break anything. So this is a chart of the 10-year Treasury rate. And this is going back, it's probably going back 8 months or so. But as you can see lately, what we've had, stuff goes up and down every day. But, we've had this, rates have been, and mortgage rates, they really follow the mortgage bond market, but they really do follow closely the 10-year Treasury rate. So when the 10-year Treasury rate moves up or down, usually mortgage rates are moving in the same direction by somewhat of the same amount. And what you can just see lately is, there's been, they go up, they come down, they go up, they come down, but they've been, the range that they've been operating in has been narrowing. And sometimes when this happens, but if it's a stock price or anything, the market seems to be uncertain of which way to go. And, when it starts narrowing so much, sometimes it can break out one way or the other. So, we don't know. Obviously, yesterday was something that could have broken rates out one way or the other, but it was really more, status quo. Nothing really changed. Tomorrow, there's the non-farms payroll report, the jobs report. That's the biggest jobs report of the month. And sometimes if there's a big surprise there, things could move. So could move good, could move bad, could
Right.
continue to move in this little narrow range, but just thought it
Right.
was interesting that the market is looking for a little bit of a direction, you know what I mean? And is kind of what a chart like that might tell somebody.
And we
So
watch
it was
these,
interesting.
we watch these charts and graphs and so forth. And like you said, from a historical perspective, once we start seeing this kind of narrowing, where it's just, we could have a breakout sometime. You're not saying it's tomorrow. It could be, could be
Could be.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it could have a something sway depending on what that jobs report does indeed tell us.
Yeah.
But if it's not tomorrow, it could be coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, I think the market, like I said, the market seemed to be looking for some direction. So,
Yeah, we
over
shall
the
see tomorrow morning. So, well,
Yep.
yeah. Well, our
Maybe
weekly South Florida mortgage report. We like to talk about three things: mortgage rates, as usual, maybe a specialty product, or maybe a loan we closed that was a little unique, and then maybe some nice little information for our realtor referral partners. Last week, I touched on. I had a couple of closings last Friday. One of which was a nice young lady. She sold her home down here in South Florida. Her listing agent down here, Sherry Delgado, actually referred her, and she was moving up to Tallahassee. Go Noel, go FSU Seminoles. You're a Nole. My daughters are both Noles as well, and her daughter is going to be a Seminole. So she said, "Hey, I'm going to capitalize on my house down here that I bought a long time ago. Take my money. I'm going to Tallahassee, a little more laid back." She was leaving her employer down here. She had been the same employer for 20 years, and was going to Tallahassee with a brand new employer. But the really cool thing about it is I wanted to bring about to our referral partners is that we closed her with an offer letter. She actually not starting her job until I think tomorrow. So we closed her a week before she actually started the new job. So it can be done, but there are some little bit there's more details in that, right, Craig?
Yeah, I mean it's a great situation when you have somebody that's relocating if you can give them the opportunity to be able to settle into their home before they start their new job. And so what a lender usually looks for to have an opportunity to help somebody like that is they have to have somebody that the borrower needs to be something that their income's not fluctuating, so they can't be like an hourly rate kind of a person. We're not sure what their hours are going to be at the new job, so a salary is important. Usually a big company too. A mom and pop company is probably a harder thing to pull off with something like that. And then the biggest thing is we have to be able to get some pretty rock solid in writing confirmation from the employer that all of the prerequisites that the employee needed to meet in order to start work, that they have completed all of those. So they passed their background check, and anything that they would have had to have done has already been done. They're clear to start, and if you can get all that stuff, then somebody can close, on their home and move in before they go and show up on their job for the first day, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it worked out great for my borrower. She was super happy, her and her daughter. They sent me a picture at closing, and hats off to our processing team, Lori and Tina and Heather Ann who helping because sometimes the challenge getting that kind of letter from the new employer, sometimes they don't want to give that information out, but it took a little coercing, so to speak, not really, but it took a lot of follow up. But we did get that letter from our borrower's new employer, and it all worked out. But the bottom line is, we can do loans for somebody who's relocating somewhere, and they don't have to start the new job and get a pay stub just yet automatically. Sometimes there's some special circumstances, and really it was a win-win for all the parties. But our borrower was really happy because she got it, like you said, before she closed. She's getting settled in, she gets to unpack, and she saves some money on putting stuff in storage too. So
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, really, really great stuff. Craig, we've been doing this podcast for a few weeks now. We're growing by leaps and bounds and expanding, and we're going to try to expand it by do like a two a week actually. And so next we're going to give it a shot to do two. And actually, we're going to have a special guest next Friday, Mr. Carlos Gonzalez, the president and owner of Atlantic Building Inspections. Great guy.
Great, Carlos Gonzalez.
Yeah, the great Carlos Gonzalez. Yeah, great guy. So he's going to provide some great information. And it's funny the timeliness of this because just yesterday in the Sun Sentinel, I was reading about the state of Florida's Home Safe program to help make your home more hurricane prepared. And I remembered Carlos because Carlos did a training a couple of years ago here at the office and talked about it. And I had seen it in the paper, but I never really paid attention. And when he explained it, how easy it was and who gets it and what it's for, I signed up right away and I got approved. So basically, Craig, what it is, it's money that the state provides.
Yep.
A homeowner can get up to $10,000 towards impact windows or a new roof, et cetera, et cetera. What they do is for every dollar you spend, they'll give you $2 up to 10 grand. For example, if you wanted to get a hurricane garage door and the door was $3,000, you spend $1,000, the state will give you $2,000. So you can get a hurricane impact garage door, $3,000 for $1,000 out of pocket. Yeah, in my particular instance, I got approved and I needed a new roof on my home.
Yeah.
And so I got a new roof. So, but the way it works is you have
awesome.
to, yeah, it's a fantastic process. You go online, you get approved, et cetera, et cetera. Then you have to pay for your roof. You send them the bills and everything to the state of Florida. Once they review everything, they cut you a check back. And I mean, I had my roof done like January. I think I got my check like within like 3 weeks.
That's amazing. That's a
Yeah,
great
it
program.
was awesome. So anyways, I read in the Sun Sentinel a couple days ago that it's back. The state of Florida has funded again from the recently passed budget that hasn't done anything about Hometown Heroes yet. But they were able to get the funds out there for the Florida Home Safe program. So if you're a realtor referral partner, or if you know anybody that's looking to do any kind of impact window stuff, maybe even you, Craig, I don't know.
Okay.
Google FloridaHomesafe.com. It's a winner.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
great info, Bill. I'm sure a lot of people would really benefit from knowing about that. I mean, I wasn't aware of the program. I heard about it, but I didn't really know that was that kind of simple. So that's
Yeah, it was
fantastic.
great. It was excellent. I really highly recommend it. Now, I touch on also lastly as we close out here, Craig, Hometown Heroes, state of Florida. They passed the budget. Now we're at July 31st. We still have the details on it, do we?
It's still not released. So I've heard a whisper date of basically the middle of August. So if that's the case, they're probably gonna have to release the guidelines soon. We look every day; it's not there yet. So we've been helping people with other programs in the meantime, but it should be dropping any day. At least the guidelines. As soon as it does, we'll get the information out to everybody. But
Yeah.
everyone's a little surprised that it's been taking as long as it
I
has.
know. I'm surprised, but we still have the Capital Partners Home Front Heroes. I mean, we have all these other down payment assistance.
We've been helping people. We've been
Sure.
you had that deal with somebody that got in with $6,000 only, and
Yeah.
there's lots of different programs, and we've been taking advantage of the ones that we've got, and for those people that have been waiting for that program, it is coming, and it's almost here, but not yet.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll keep our eyes and ears open. So good stuff. We're closing out the last day of the month. Wrap it up and get ready for a great, nice weekend here coming up. So, Craig, have a great weekend. And like we always tell our referral partners, we're going to see you
At the
at the
closing.
closing table. All right. Have a great weekend.